please welcome Assistant Secretary for Elementary and Secondary Education, Dr. Thilma Melendez de Saniana.
Good morning. Well, it was wonderful to see all the schools that paraded across the stage. It's just amazing, and congratulations for the wonderful work that you do every single day for our children. You know, 2011 promises to be an exciting year, an exceptional year. I am so happy and glad to be right here together with you today, to share ideas and to build a momentum. It's a pleasure to help launch this conference as we set our sights high on innovation and excellence. Together, we can fulfill our mission of serving all of America's children, especially those most in need, better than before. It's an honor to return to this wonderful conference and stand here in this room full of dedicated Title I directors, coordinators, teachers, school officials, parents, students, and other key partners. The stakes of our work have never been higher as we face some daunting challenges, from a tough economy to reports showing U.S. students trail their peers in many other nations in reading, math, science, to unexceptionally, I always have trouble with that word, high dropout rates, both in pre-K-12 and secondary and post-secondary systems. But I am confident that working together, there is no limit, absolutely no limit, to what we can do to transform education in America. And we'll get some extra motivation today. I am delighted to share on the agenda with our keynote speaker, Adora Satak. I know Adora will send our spirits soaring as she challenges us to think in different and new ways. Adora's topic, the importance of engaging students as active partners in education, highlights what is, to me, one of the most powerful aspects of effective teaching and learning. I believe it must be a hallmark of the 21st century reform. That's why we've been working to build a world-class education system, including more individualized student learning that equips all students to set goals, stay in school, earn a diploma, and succeed in college and careers. Of course, academics aren't enough. We must also produce informed citizens, effective problem solvers, groundbreaking pioneers, and dedicated leaders. In short, we want our children to be lifelong learners who have mastered today's tools and technologies and can adapt for tomorrow. I loved Adora's speech at the TED conference about the value of children's vast resources of idealism, creativity, and hope. She reminded us, we kids still dream about perfection, and in order to make anything a reality, you have to dream about it first. Our audacity to imagine helps push the boundaries of possibility. I know that each of us has seen this in our work. Students with big dreams, hopes, aspirations. We've also seen how powerful education can be in releasing our students' unlimited potential and disproving the myth that factors like race, English language learner needs, poverty, or disability are a destiny. It's the reason that so many of us have chosen this career path for ourselves. Each of us today shares the conviction that every child can learn when met with high standards and expectations, effective teaching, and proper supports. Yet, we can't rest until every school and community in America is full of teachers, principals, parents, students, and other stakeholders who are proving this fact every single day. Your work in America's Title I programs is absolutely key to this effort. In the State of the Union last week, President Obama spoke of America's urgent need to invest in education, innovation, and infrastructure as the one sure way to reclaim our leadership on the world stage. In fact, he spent 20 minutes of his 1-hour speech on the importance of education and the role that each of us plays in our nation's future. To help translate this sense of urgency into effective action and to focus all of our efforts on the President's goal of leading the world in the percentage of college graduates by the year 2020, we're doing business very differently at the U.S. Department of Education. So much has been accomplished this past year, like the consortium-based effort by 44 states, including the District of Columbia, to create new first-rate assessments aligned with the Common Core standards, using $330 million in federal Race to the Top funding. And you also know that we've spent an unprecedented amount and energy in turning around, with your support, our lowest performing schools. Still, the year ahead won't be easy. In 2009 and in 2010, in response to the worst recession since the Great Depression, we provided a large injection of stimulus funds to state and local governments, saving hundreds of thousands of education jobs and supporting local reform efforts. But, as Corey mentioned, in 2011, the challenge for all of us will be to do more with less. Still, we at the Department of Education believe that our best response is to really look at addressing this strategically. The need for greater educational productivity at a lower cost is another compelling reason to innovate. One of our top priorities for 2011 is to work with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle to reauthorize the Elementary and Secondary Act so that we have a stronger framework for excellence and innovation. On many issues, Democrats and Republicans agree, from bigger investments in teachers and principals to a sharper focus on schools and students at risk. We believe that education is the one issue that can transcend politics. Last fall, I went on a back-to-school tour to the South with the Secretary, and I really liked the way the Secretary described our proposal for reform, our blueprint for reauthorization, by calling it fair, flexible, and focused. Our plan ensures that states and schools are held accountable in a fair way. Our department won't dictate how you reach your goals. Instead, we'll offer a clear definition of success and let most schools figure out how to get there. We also want to create greater flexibility in how schools and districts innovate to improve. We'll support creativity and innovation in a variety of ways, including through formula and competitive grants. And third, we'll continue to focus on the schools and the students most at risk. This includes a strong emphasis on meeting the needs of diverse learners and on continuing to work with you to turn around the bottom 5% of the nation's schools and transform them into vibrant places to learn. We are also challenged to transform the U.S. Department of Education into an engine of innovation. From the beginning of my time here, one of my top priorities in the Office of Elementary and Secondary Education has been to provide strong technical assistance that is essential to build capacity and support change management at state and local levels. As a former superintendent and principal and teacher, I know just how important it is to have that type of support. So we at the department are focused on developing ourselves as capacity builders, coordinating our technical assistance across offices and programs, and implementing technical assistance so that we can measure our own effectiveness that way. Now we know that the best ideas will come from practitioners in the field, and that is why our technical assistance plan focuses on sharing your proven practices and lessons learned, and building professional learning communities that serve and support networks and that are further catalysts of reform. Our role is to support you, and we look forward to hearing your experiences, the experiences from schools that we heard about today, and states that are doing innovative work. Our goal is to model effective capacity building at the national level, just as we're encouraging you to model it at state, district, and school level. I look forward to sharing more information about our work this afternoon in our technical assistance session. Now, sustaining and increasing our success during these challenging times calls for a different type of leader. It involves leadership that takes into account what I call the 4 C's. And I challenge you to take these 4 C's to heart. Courage, collaboration, capacity, and commitment. You know well that it takes courage to stand up for children, to do what is right for them. We must disrupt the status quo and press for equity, access, and higher standards, especially for our low-income students and other disadvantaged students. At the same time, we must constantly seek new ways to collaborate with a wide range of partners, from state administrators to district and school leaders, to teachers in the classroom, to parents, to nonprofits, and other education organizations. But even courage and collaboration aren't enough. We must build the capacity of our systems to deliver and accelerate student learning. We must build our own capacity to be able to do the work that our students deserve. And finally, the 4th C, we must have relentless, and I mean relentless commitment to do what is right for children in our educational reform. We can't let up when we reach obstacles or barriers to our work. I know that keeping these 4 C's isn't always easy, especially when we're caught up with the day-to-day responsibilities of our jobs. So I want to close with one of my favorite quotes, a quote that really has been a quote that I've used throughout my life, because it always lifts my spirits. And honestly, it inspires me to continue the tough work. You know, when I was a 5th grader, I had the privilege of shaking Senator Bobby Kennedy's hand. He was going through my little town in the Los Angeles area, Montebello, in a convertible, shaking hands. And I waited all day long to shake his hand, and I got to. I remember reaching up, shaking his hand, and feeling the excitement. I was brokenhearted just a few days later when he was assassinated, because for me, he embodied hope. For a 5th grader, he embodied hope. The possibility of change, of something different. So I want to share a quote from him. He said, "It is from numberless diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a man stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he and she sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. Well, this room is filled with that kind of courage and belief. Every day, every single day, your work sends out a ripple of hope for the next generation. I challenge you, let's build a tsunami from all the ripples of hope in this room. I thank you for all the work that you do, for coming together and fighting for what's right for children. I'm excited to be here, to spend some time with you today, to share innovative ideas, and to learn from you. It is an honor, an absolute honor, for me to be doing this work and creating the future with you. Thank you.